Being an adult means that you can understand a lot more proverbs and expressions that you've heard your whole life because they finally have context and meaning within the scope of your life. One that people repeat that is so overworn in society is that good guys finish last, nice guys finish last, something like that. And this typically refers to people that are overly sympathetic and go out of their way to support other people, how they tend to fall behind, when it comes to reaping the rewards of the efforts they've sown. Ironically, though, I think that this is not the case. I don't think that nice guys finish last. In fact, I think that they never do. And this video is going to explain why. Okay, so what do we perceive as nice? Let's first analyze that. Fundamental niceness is kindness, is offering yourself, perhaps self-sacrificially, for the benefit of somebody else. It's not done in an effort to gain something, and I think that's what people typically associate it with, that these nice guys are doing what they're doing in order to achieve something. No. True kindness is in genuinity. It's in being sincere and giving from your soul, And a lot of people probably can't fathom that because they don't know what that means. And it takes time, Maybe you know what it's like to do service work and you've volunteered and you help your friends when they ask. But what I'm talking about is you are literally presenting, the fruits of your labors, of your being to other people so that they can get ahead. Not so that you can get ahead, so they can get ahead. And that is often the opposite of what society teaches us, which is to prioritize yourself in many cases and focus on ways that you can get ahead. And of course, that's important because you have to still continue to push forward. Where does the extent of that go? Well, a lot of people become so, preoccupied with their self, egocentric, that they believe that they have to be this image of, in a guy's case, pure masculinity that's cold to the bone and that doesn't give a fuck and that just rides, for themselves, their family, their posse. And, that's cool. That's normal. Most guys are like that probably. And there's nothing wrong with that. But there's this twisted image of it as if those people are somehow on top. And sure, if you're talking about maybe from a financial point of view, from a professional point of view in some cases, sure, these people, often type A, have aggregated wealth, riches, material possessions, women, etc. But to what extent has that corrupted them? You feel that being a nice guy somehow holds you back. It doesn't. It pushes you ahead, not just on a moral plane, but on more of a spiritual one, perhaps a humanistic one as well. You being somebody that is truly empathetic, that wishes to understand people, will always be ahead because you are somebody that succeeds with the success of others. It takes many types of people for society to, persevere and push forward. You do need a lot of people that are very raw, rugged, that just grind, and then that are able to kind of lead the pack. And in some ways, yeah, maybe the nice guys aren't the best people to do that if they are kind of staying behind and making sure nobody, gets left out. But these qualities are always going to still be ahead of the more disgusting ones, like, let's say, criminal activity, of scammer mentality. That, I think, is the true bottom of, human thought and, characteristic. To say that nice guys are somehow below that is BS, because these people, again, I really want to emphasize, I'm not talking about this kind of simp type archetype, because those people are in it for themselves, really. They're being a nice guy as a mask to access something. What I'm talking about, again, is this genuine personality, this person that wants to help and wants to maybe even empower other people, because they find success in other people's success. And, these so-called alpha characters, they claim that, some people claim that they want success in others, but, their presentation of that seems so skewed. Everything that they offer is behind a paywall in a lot of cases, and not to mention that the type of message that they put out there is one that is just creating more of themselves. It's like they're cloning themselves. So first, they're charging you for their information, and not that they shouldn't. I mean, information perhaps isn't always free, but if you think about, where does the sincerity come from in charging people, or, making it difficult to access what they have? That's pretty much gatekeeping, if you think about it. So where I'm trying to go with that is just to say that the archetype of the person who is sympathetic and genuine, in most cases, probably wouldn't use money as a bridge to connect their soul to the other person. They would literally extend their hands and offer it to that person. And money is just, it's a semantical thing. It's just something that needs to come into play just for practical reasons, but it's not the essence of what people are offering each other. You're not trying to create more clones of yourself. You're trying to give people the knowledge and wisdom to create their own life and to empower themselves. With respect to women, it's about being a gentleman, but not in a way that is to access, sex and certain things of that nature. It's to respect this other person. It's always done out of, chivalry, but not in a way to reduce the essence of that person, of yourself, or of this other person. So those are just some thoughts. I really think that the nice guys never finish last, because last is something that's so, far away from the essence of being human. I would associate it more with cruelty, with pure toxicity, with narcissism gone extreme. I think these qualities are what we should try to separate ourselves from, not from being nice. I think that should be a fundamental part of being human. And if you were to die while you tried to give those, those good parts of you out to the world, I think that's okay. You know, imagine dying and all you ever thought about was yourself. You know, nobody's gonna miss you. And it's not about necessarily the legacy, but it's about what positive implications did you leave behind in the world. Most likely they're gonna come from being a person that was highly regarded. And sure, bad people can be highly regarded. They can still create really cool things, and perhaps they might even be more notorious in that way. But if you want to be somebody who has a tremendous effect, even on a small scale, I just recommend you to be kind, because I think those repercussions will have quite a significant impact from the ground up. You know, that's what thinkers like us try to consider is the future, and starting small, because you have to start small to make big changes. This more instantaneous gratification does come with a lot more of the egocentric mentality of, I'm here, I deserve this, I've earned this, you know, I need this. But this more kind approach considers how your actions might impact the next generation, the people around you, you know, etc. So that's my spiel. I feel pretty good about that. I've thought about it for about a week and been excited to consider how to present it. I think it went well, and I hope this is just, you know, an insight into potentially how you can think about, you know, yourself in relation to the rest of humanity. You know, you don't have to be this, you know, type A extremist that is alone and, you know, so stuck in their journey that they can't even see anything around them, because we're all intertwined. You know, when you sit next to somebody on the subway, you can tell that they're feeling something, and you just ignore them just so you can put your AirPods in. I mean, it's just like, okay, that's something that you can do. You're able to take that autonomy, but why not spend a couple minutes here and there and start offering a little bit of yourself? You're not going to lose anything in the long run, especially if you're young. You have so much energy to give, and as much time as you spend probably on your phone, you could probably also spend that by, you know, servicing the world. You're not always going to get paid, so you need to keep that in mind, because the best things in life are free, and it's not always about the transaction, it's about the offering. What comes here, and then what comes here. But you have to be able to think about it in a way that you've never thought about it before, which means probably feeling. So hope you can feel this message. Hope you can feel where you are in your own journey and how you can possibly pivot in some ways. You can adapt. You can change. You can be changed. You can motivate. You can inspire. And hopefully, if you live long enough, you can retire. That's a luxury. But if you really, really love what you do, then you probably won't ever give it up, you know, unless it's physically demanding or extremely mentally strenuous, etc. So if you like this message, please consider subscribing and check out some of my other videos. I'm doing language content, travel videos, more philosophical discussions, and some inspiration here and there. So with that being said, take care wherever you are, and like always, peace.